Hello StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between Polt and Strange on Ruins of Endion. In the bottom left side of the map we have the red Terran player, it is Polt, who needs no further introduction. And in the bottom right side of the map we have the blue Protoss player, it is Strange. I think this is Strange's first time on my channel. He is a Russian Protoss player who currently plays for Cascade. He is fairly new to the StarCraft 2 scene, but he placed first in the rival StarCraft 2 League Season 3, defeating Namshar 4-1 and won several $100s there, so I assume he is a pretty amazing Protoss player. So here we go, Ruins of Endion. We've seen this map fairly frequently on the channel recently. It's one of the new maps in the ladder pool. The defining characteristic has got to be these rocks. These rocks down here and this set on the other side are the way to get the quickest direction and quickest route to your opponent's base. Two-player map, 1 and 2. Quickest route is right across here, straight across. But again, early game, you can't rush it because you have to knock down these rocks first, and none of the early rushing units can really do that. So you're forced to go up and around as this probe has done to get to your opponent's base. You also have more rocks where you can knock down this front wall, which effectively keeps you safe. Your natural's protected. You have these rocks protecting your third. You can actually get 4 bases protected by rocks on this base, which is kind of nuts if you think about it. But regardless, let's see what these players are doing. Polt is doing what he always does, which is going to be a Reaper expand, I think. Is he going to bother getting a Reaper here? Polt is, no, getting a Marine instead. So it is a 1-Rax expand. This time he is getting a Marine instead. Wants to deal with this probe, although a Reaper would be a better way to do that. So I'm not entirely sure what he's planning on doing with the Marine other than shooing this guy away. If Strange is any good, he shouldn't be able to actually... I mean, he won't actually lose this pylon. Oh my gosh, Polt. Polt, the stutter step micro, and oh, saves it with 4 hit points left. What a save by Strange. Good attack, though, by Polt, man. That was amazing. That stutter step was incredible. He wants to knock down these rocks. He wants to protect his bases as long as he can. Good SCV scout coming through here for our friend Strange. He sees that there is warp gate research on the way. He sees there's an adept in production. Okay, he doesn't know what that is, but it's probably an adept. It could be a stalker opening. That wouldn't be too crazy, but regardless. And yeah, the SCV checking to make sure there's not a third Nexus coming up because he saw this one is pretty darn early. As Polt is not going 1-Rax expand. He actually did. Yeah, he did. He went expand, but he didn't go on the low ground, which is odd. I wonder if he's worried about what Strange is going to do, what he could actually muster in the early game to deny this, because I haven't actually seen Polt sit here with this inside his own base for this long. He has factory coming up. He's got a second barracks on the way here too. What is he planning on doing? Orbital command is just now popping in here for Polt. Meanwhile, there's a robotics facility being warped in by Strange, so he definitely is going to go for something out of that robo facility. Observer, obviously that's the first thing he's going to do. Could be disruptors, could be immortals. Immortals pretty darn fantastic in this particular matchup. Good against tanks, good against marauders. Not good against Marines, but really just depends on how your opponent is going to do this thing. Landing there is our friend, the Orbital Command, the Orbital Command Center. I get just Orbital Command, though. Yeah, that's all it is. And actually delaying and denying. Look how close that construction bar is right there. He waited till the last second to cancel that. It's going to take a bit for Strange to deal with it, especially since he opened up Adept. Adepts do not do very well against buildings. So Polt trying to harass his opponent, but not really doing much of anything beyond that engineering bay. He didn't go Reaper. I don't see any Hellions in production from him right now. He's going right into that starport. And his Marine count is looking pretty fantastic too. So Marines are pretty good against the early stuff that Protoss can do. Really good against things like Mothership Cores. Really good against things like Oracles. Not so good against Adepts, but still not as bad as they used to be. They can still hold their own pretty well at this point. Probe still scouting on in here. What has that probe or that SCV seen? The SCV saw pretty standard stuff. Doesn't know about the robotics facility. And the probe doesn't know anything beyond this. So that probe is now coming out possibly to scout, but just hold this on like a watchtower. Proxy stuff. Oh, Proxy Dark Shrine coming up from Strange. Okay. This just got interesting. So we're definitely going to see some Dark Templars here from a Protoss player trying to hold off whatever attacks Polt can do. In the meantime, all he has is a couple Adepts and a few Stalkers here, and Polt is being kind of uncharacteristically quiet. Never mind. He is boosting out here with a single Widowmine drop. What is here to defend against this? Is there an Observer in the air? There's a Wood Observer right there. It might be the only one here Take a look at that units tab. No, there are 2. Where's the other one? Alright, I guess we can click on it, right? Observer, observer. Okay, so there is one sitting here in the main base just waiting for this to happen and doesn't actually choose to drop. Polt doesn't. He instead is going to swing on up here, see if he can find another angle at which to attack. But there are some stalkers sitting right here too, so I don't know where to go. Warp Prism scouts this inadvertently. And yeah, Polt is forced to boost on out. So everything he's tried to do so far, I mean, I guess he did get the block off fairly well, so that wasn't a big deal. Probe shows up. Surprise! What a terrible surprise to see that just sitting there waiting for you. Forced to send up some units to deal with it. The Stalkers and the Adepts are coming to take that thing out. Observer hanging out right here. Polt is usually pretty good at seeing these in his own base. Actually tossing down a missile turret. Not going to waste a scan on it. I think he knows that it's there, but he doesn't want to use a scan just to take down an Observer, so that's pretty funny. DT coming in. Oh my gosh, DT does almost get the missile turret, but the scan. Yeah, Polt recognizes he's going to go ahead and definitely use a scan on a DT, that's for sure. Did not get this one, however. Might get this reactor, and yes, takes down the reactor. That's useful indeed. Now going after a supply depot, but does get melted, and the Observer gets sniped outside that scan range. Just barely. That was nuts. All right, so well done there by Polt. The DT Warpins did some damage from Strange, but not really not much. It's 44 to 52 Harvesters. Strange is doing an excellent job on his macro. Both players well over 200 APM right now on average throughout the game, and Polt is playing at his customary 400 Insanity APM. Liberators coming in now from Polt, and I think tried to do some stuff, but the Stalkers chased them off here too. Strange did knock down his own rocks. Both players being pretty defensive. Surprisingly defensive in this game, as all the rocks have been knocked down, and any rocks that were already up have not been broken down at all. So I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but just trust me on that one. Coming in with another drop here is Polt. Can he get it with so many Marines and a few Marauders mixed in too? The army sees it coming though, because of this Observer right on there, landing right on in, and Stalkers, Immortals, Sentries might do some force fields. Can they get in there? Mothership Core gets sniped down. Nicely done by Polt there, and picking up and boosting off. I feel like he might have been able to win that thing, but instead he boosts on out, and Strange holds the position. Probe patrolling back and forth. Maybe he wants to throw down a pylon here. I really don't know. It's 100 to 86 total supply. Polt is doing very, very well right now. Very well for himself. Macroing his face off. He does have that third base there too. Third base up and running for Strange at the same time, attempting to come in with Liberators and cover this landing zone. I like that decision. I love this combination by Polt. Again, moving the circles a little bit closer here. Might lose a couple Stalkers for nothing. Might Strange, but coming in here once again with his Stalkers. No upgrades on these guys at all compared to Marines and the Marauders with the +1/+1 stun. Oh, stimming forward though is the army. Nice blink there by Strange, taking out both of the Liberators. Can he get the final one with the final Stalker? And yes, he barely gets it, and forces a retreat there by Polt. So Strange holding on, but man, he's lost a lot of stuff here. Resources lost definitely in favor of Polt. 2,000 lost by Polt, 3,800 resources lost by Strange after that battle. So I'd say Strange is just barely trying to hold on right here. Yes, he does have that base. Yes, he's up just barely. Oh, no, just kidding. It's 57 to 56 workers now. He was up for a second, but Polt overtook it now. DT sneaking on in. Look at him. One shot these SCVs. No defense here whatsoever. No missile turrets. No bunker. No nothing. And the DT backs on out. Now a missile turret being constructed. Polt saying, are you still doing DTs? Are you still trying to make this thing happen? Fine. Whatever. Fusion core on the way for Polt. Going to be able to increase the attack range, or rather the... yeah, I guess the range of the Liberators by 4 in their defender mode circles, which is so darn excellent. DT getting marched on here once again, able to pick up a few more workers, and will get destroyed there as the missile turret could spot it, allowing the bio to take him out. So currently, workers killed 9 by Strange, 1 by Polt. Army supply 75 to 49 in favor of Polt. Really doing well with his bio composition. Small group up here, going to threaten the third base, while I think maybe another bigger attack going to come down here. Nope. Just a small little poke. He's not worried about too much here. I guess the pylon, yeah, the probe exists to scan these rocks and make sure they don't get knocked down without him knowing what's going on. And the army is now here and ready to go. Any upgrades for this guy at all? No. +1 attacks on the way for Strange, but that's about it. Warp Prism shenanigans, attempting big old warping of Adepts here, but no, the Liberator spots it. Oh, the Liberator's now going after that Warp Prism. Should be able to snipe it on down. The Adepts using Psionic Transfer to boost on up somewhere and kill some more of these workers. They do. They march right into this mineral line, and they do take it out. The Liberators do manage to snipe down the Warp Prism. There it is. They managed to get it there. The Adepts get cleaned up by the Marines and the Marauders, but still 11 workers have been killed so far. Strange just doing little pokes here and there, doing some nice multi-pronged attacks. Is down 163 to 124 supply, though. And here comes Strange. There's that upgrade. Advanced Ballistics by the Liberator, increasing the range of the Defender mode by 4. Little sneak up here to find this proxy tech. Comes Polt. He takes out the Pylon. He takes out the Dark Shrine. No more DTs for a while. Strange actually trying to get a DT out before that dies, and he does manage to do it. He gets a single DT warped in, and here it is. So he's going to play defense more than anything else. Stimming right up here. +1 attack has finished. Blinking forward. Guardian Shield being used, only covering some of these units there, but that is okay. Strange is overwhelming force at this base for now. Good force fields. Trying to keep these units out. Blinking forward to take out the Liberators. Those are the big concerns. And yes, both the Liberators are sniped on down here very well. The Immortals forcing a liftoff on that command center, on that orbital command. Very low health units here. +1/+1 on these guys. And no +2/+2 on the way for Polt. Surprisingly few upgrades here right now for our Terran player. SCV is forced to retreat to this location. Is able to reland that command center. Or that orbital command. Trying to boost on in. And blinking one, blinking twice. Can't quite get the second medevac. Lucky enough to get the one, though. So Strange holding on. And actually being the aggressor a little bit here. Warp Prism here, ready to warp in units of full evacuation of SCVs before they even see what's coming out of that Warp Prism. And yes, forcing the army to pull back to defend this third base. Pretty good force fields. SCVs forced to pull off the line. That's never a good sign. Adepts trying to take out their orbital command, or that command center that's on the way. Killing as many SCVs as they can before they sonic transfer their way on out. Pushing up once again. Just dancing. The circles are pretty great there, as a lot of stalkers are going to die, then backing out. Once again, trying to kill as many of these SCVs, and so far, so good, man. Killed 34 workers. Has Strange thus far. It's 58 to 42 workers in favor of our Protoss player from Russia. Big attack up here again, still going on. Sniping down mules, sniping down SCVs, doing damage on that orbital command, and then forced to retreat once again. Strange being very patient with this game. Marines and Marauders coming in to finally clear out the Adept infestation, and they do. This base now up and running too. I haven't seen Strange attempt to take a fourth base at all, but he's going to knock down this front door and see what he can do. He's now up 153 to 146 total supply, 95 to 108 total supply, and blinking forward. Oh, the Liberator's not protected by much of anything. All three of them end up dead. There are still 4 more up there, though, but dodging those circles very ably. Just running as fast as they can from those Liberator circles, trying to take out this base, killing more SCVs, and then just blinking up, blinking on top of the Liberators, focusing them down, not worrying about the Marines and the Marauders. A DT mixed in here. Adepts, Immortals crushing through the Immortals, or crushing through the Marauders and the Marines, chasing in the back. It's 133 to 181 total supply. DT taking out a Tech Lab. Adepts trying to warp on in on top of everything, and they do, looking pretty darn good with that +1 attack and +1 armor. More units in production here for Polt. It's 3 Liberators, but that's it. A GG from Polt. Polt is defeated, Strange is victorious, and Polt has left the game. Well, that was a surprising outcome. I did not think that Strange, who I never heard of, would be able to hold out against Polt, especially considering the longer the game went on. As we saw from the cast last week, it seems like Polt's weakness, at least in TVZ, are kind of earlier matches, games that end before the 10-minute mark. But this is a 13-minute game against a Protoss. I felt like Polt had a pretty darn big advantage. But again, Strange really picked off the Liberators. Did a great job picking those Liberators off. In the end, there were 3, but I feel like Strange killed at least 10. Is that a fair assessment? I think it is. All right, so that's it from me. Well played by Strange, Polt as well, but Strange gets the win today. All right, so this has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /Falcon Paladin. You can find a link to my shirts in the end of this video. Just click on it below. Also in the description, a link to my book. Check that one out on Amazon and leave me a nice review if you so choose. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.